Is this a drill or something?
You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
The chosen one. The idea of there being a chosen one meant to correct all wrongs in the universe is a common occurrence in sci-fi and fantasy stories.
He is the one.
And the concept plays a huge part in Star Wars. The Chosen One prophecy has been the driving force behind the Star Wars stories we know, and it all started with Anakin Skywalker and Qui-Gon Jinn's belief that the boy was the subject of the prophecy and would ultimately bring balance to the Force.
He is the Chosen One. He will bring balance. Train him.
But is the prophecy simple to interpret? If it's about balance, shouldn't there be equal representation between the light and the dark side, like we've seen in the expanded universe, the Sithari, the dark version of the Chosen One? Was Anakin truly the Chosen One? And did he fulfill his destiny? Like many subjects in Star Wars, there's room for subjective interpretation. But I have some thoughts. Let's talk about the Chosen One prophecy.
And bring balance to the Force.
So the prophecy says.
There are only a handful of canonical references throughout Star Wars to the Chosen One prophecy. The Phantom Menace introduced the idea of the prophecy for the first time. We don't know every word of the prophecy, but thanks to Mace Windu, we know it's centered around someone who would bring balance to the Force. Because of Anakin's off-the-charts midichlorian count and the fact that he appeared to be born of immaculate conception, Qui-Gon suspected the boy was the one that was referred to in the prophecy. And I'll get back to who the Chosen One could be in a moment, but let's focus on the prophecy first. Why does it matter? If we can't tell for certain who the Chosen One is or whether the prophecy has been fulfilled, is it even important? And the answer is yes. I wouldn't be discussing it otherwise. Like Obi-Wan told Luke, the Force surrounds and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together. The Force is an integral thread in the fabric of the universe. If it's out of whack in any way, every living thing is affected. The repercussions of the prophecy ripple out to every corner of the galaxy. It's big, but like all prophecies, the meaning is open to a certain point of view. And speaking of which, what does balance mean?
Come on then. Who will strike first and brand themselves a cold-blooded killer?
Anakin. What? He was gonna blow up the ship.
The most important part of the Chosen One prophecy is balance and how it relates to the Force. Going by the dictionary definition, balance is a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. Given that information, my first take on balance would have an equal amounts of light and dark side of the Force presented in the galaxy. But is that too straightforward? Is it really the way that the Jedi would define balance? What balance is right for the Force? See? Aren't prophecies fun? If only the person who had this prophecy would have made a YouTube video. Let's take a look at the various possibilities for the word balance. I mentioned the Jedi perspective. I got the impression that they looked at the balance as pushing out the influence of the dark side of the Force overall. During the prequel era, they talked about the dark side hanging over their ability to communicate with the Force like an impenetrable fog. If the Jedi think of the living Force that flows through the universe and connects living beings as inherently being light, they would want to keep it pure. Imagine you had something like a pH test strip to test the Force, and instead of measuring acidity levels, it measures the amount of dark side negativity influencing the Force itself. Or think of the dark side as impurities in an otherwise clear river. From that angle, the way to make the Force the best it can be is to balance it by removing said toxins, aka the influences from the dark side, the taint of it. This means the destruction of the Sith entirely. Obi-Wan indicates this is what the Jedi thought with his emotional shouting at Anakin in Revenge of the Sith. He told him, "You were the chosen one. It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness." What if it's actually about the numbers of light side users versus dark side users at any given time in the galaxy? The Jedi numbered in the thousands during the time of the prequels, whilst the Sith adhered to the rule of two created by Darth Bane. Maybe balance means means bringing the numbers within a closer range, which Order 66 certainly helped with. That's kind of weird. Palpatine was helping with the balance. However, if this theory is true and it is about numbers, the dark side probably shouldn't have clouded the light side of the Force as much as it did. Going back to the very definition of balance, what if it means there should be an equal representation on the light and the dark side in the galaxy? What if the Chosen One brings about balance by being able to control both the light and the dark? During the Mortis trilogy in the Clone Wars, the father, a metaphor for the Chosen One, told Anakin only the Chosen One could control his son, a representation of the dark, and his daughter, a representation of the light side. Anakin was able to wield control over both as a part of a test to see if he was the subject of the prophecy and a candidate for taking the father's place. Some of the father's words reinforced this more leveled approach to the Force, and he told Anakin, too much light or dark would be the undoing of life as we know it. So who is the Chosen One? Two names usually come up when you discuss the Chosen One, Anakin and Luke. Yoda expresses concern that the prophecy may have been misread. Maybe they misread it and they thought it was meant to get rid of impurities, but it really meant balance. I'm sorry, Jedi, but that could have happened. It seemed like he was specifically meant it as if he misread it as far as Anakin wasn't the Chosen One though.
General Grievous. You're shorter than I expected.
However, Anakin brought balance to the Force in every way that I've discussed. By killing Darth Sidious and sacrificing himself, he destroyed the Sith. By becoming Darth Vader and executing the Jedi, he even helped even out the numbers. And most importantly, on Mortis, he was able to control both the light and the dark sides of the Force. He acted according to both selfishness and selflessness. Dave Filoni said the events on Mortis were symbolic of everything that takes place in all 6 Star Wars films. This was obviously before The Force Awakens. The entire arc can be seen as a reflection of Anakin's role as a Chosen One. He sided with the Son when the Son promised they could bring an end to the Clone Wars and bring peace to the galaxy. That happened when Anakin sided with Palpatine because of selfish motivations. The Son, the dark side, killed the daughter, but the light side, just as the Sith wiped out the Jedi. The Father, or the Chosen One, eliminates the Son with self-sacrifice, just like Darth Vader eliminates Palpatine with an act of self-sacrifice. The argument doesn't seem as strong for Luke. By believing in his father, he ultimately paves the way for Vader to turn back to the light, therefore destroying the dark side's presence in the galaxy. And what Luke did at Jabba's palace showed maybe he could use both the light and the dark side of the Force and maintain some form of semblance of control. Balance existed within him. Is that what it means to be the Chosen One? If Luke could then went forward and taught that philosophy to his students instead of just polarity of light and dark, maybe so.
I have seen that it is the Jedi who will stand in the way of peace.
It seems pretty obvious who the Chosen One is. All signs point to Anakin being the subject of the prophecy. I mean, the guys are virgins of the Force and George Lucas has said as much, but did Anakin actually fulfill the prophecy by destroying Emperor Palpatine? On Mortis, balance came about because both the son and the daughter perished. The father told him, "You are the Chosen One. You've brought balance to this world, stay on this path, and you will do it again for the galaxy." In Return of the Jedi, the Sith were wiped out, but a Jedi remained. From the Jedi perspective, Anakin fulfilled the prophecy. But if the light and dark need to exist in tandem to bring harmony and balance to the Force, that didn't happen. Not ultimately. However, the impact of the Empire's oppression had to affect the Force in a negative way, so by ending the Empire, maybe Anakin brought things more in balance than they had been in decades. And we have to keep in mind, the Skywalker story isn't over yet. Maybe episodes 8 and 9 will give us more details. But that's just a theory. The beauty of this video is it's just the start of the discussion. Our love for Star Wars, it surrounds and it binds us together. So let me know in the comments below, how do you interpret the Chosen One prophecy? Because if you love Star Wars, I want to talk to you about it. It's as simple as that. I want to give a massive shout out to Amy Ratcliffe for helping write this video and bringing an idea I had full circle and really blowing my mind with what she brought to the table. Thank you very much. If you want to stay up to date with the latest Star Wars videos on origins, games, and theories, don't forget to use those force powers of yours and hit subscribe. And hey, leave a comment below about what you want to see in future videos. It may just get covered. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you. Always.